What's up, everybody? This is Smango from FullTechPodcast.com over here on the YouTube channel.com/Smango, and we're talking about getting to Mythic for the first time ever playing MTG Arena. Now, this is the first time I've really took MTG Arena seriously and actually put money into the game, and one of my goals is actually to get Mythic, and I've finally done it, and I want to talk about just what I've done to get there, and it was using a red deck. So, just to prove a point here, I did get Mythic here in the December 2022, Mythic 94. So, know a little bit about how to get there. I am by far not an expert at this game. So, I've tried, red aggro. And there's certain cards in there that just never did seem to work. Mechanized Warfare being one of them. Now, I watched a couple other guys play, and they started testing out Mechanized Warfare, and he's just like, this card's crap. It is a scam card. And when I started getting that in my head, I was just like, you know what? It kind of is, because it kind of just doesn't matter too much in the grand scheme of the game. Just doesn't matter too much. So after taking it out and never relying on it, another one of these cards, it seemed to it just never did do anything. Well, it always got countered really quick with Siobhan, and there's no mythics in this deck here, so that is a problem actually, I think, for facing black decks. And Mishra's Foundry, there's only 3 in this, and I think that card's great. Thundering Raju is another one that always got canceled out pretty quick too. Anyway, so after losing a million times, I finally started going with mono red wins. Still wasn't getting there. Reckless Stormseeker, I love this card, but it just, I don't know what it is. It's just, it never comes at the right time. And Thundering Raju, it just seems like it never, great card. Actually, that's a really good card. I think that is in my... So I made my own edition of a red deck that seemed to be doing a little better. I got rid of Thundering Raju. It just, I needed more cards to kill stuff with. And if you go here, you can see the creature's way down. If you look at these other decks, like red aggro, creatures, there's 4 more creatures in this one. There's 24 in this one. If you go to mine, it just, there's no creatures, 15. It's a pretty low amount of creatures, so, I did put a little extra, spells in here, and planeswalkers. I do have Squee. I have 1 Squee. I like having 1 Squee in there just because he kind of gets focused, takes the pressure off a lot of the other guys, all the smaller cards. That's elite, and he can come back. So if you get him, I like to call, like, in bowling terms, have a little play in the ball if you curve it. You have a little play in the deck if you got like one of these cards and this card in there. There's only one of these. Having both of these out is almost unstoppable, especially against the it's just the powerless. And if you got that and Monastery Swiftspear out, it's great. And you have to pretty much have a big kill card like Obliterating Bolt. I like Obliterating Bolt. You could also go with Rending Flame if you wanted to, but I like having Obliterating Bolt because it already does 4, and most of the time you can catch people off guard. Like you can hit, like, my biggest problem is with creatures that had 5 toughness. So, these guys do 1 damage. These guys might do 2 damage. Then sometimes they'll have a pump. So, anyways, if I had Obliterating Bolt and play with fire, or vice versa, lightning strike, I can usually kill that creature. That's giving me problems. Like Sheoldred. Sheoldred, if you have not seen the video on the YouTube channel, just check it out. because, you know, I just go on. I went a little over the top. I don't hate that card that bad, but I do hate it. It does give me lots and lots of problems. So we'll just go one by one here on how I played this deck. How I play this deck is with it, when it comes to Kumano Faces of Kakkazan. I don't know if I'm saying that right. Kumano. I always try to make sure I have a card coming up, like a creature after it. That's kind of how you play this. You can gamble sometimes, and if you top deck a Kumano and you ain't got no creature, sometimes you can play Reckless Impulse after that, and the next time you'll have a creature. Monastery Swiftspear. This card is actually fantastic. I don't know why this card's so much better than like Reinforced Ronon. You know, Reinforced Ronon's a 1 drop with a 2/2, but it doesn't pump up, and it goes back. You have to recast it all the time, so you're always having to cast mana, I guess. This guy stays out all the time, has haste, and grows with your spells. And since I have a lot more spells in here, and Planeswalker count as spells, guys. These count as spells. You have to remember that. The Planeswalker does pump up this card. Like, if you have this monk out, you cast Chandra, it pumps up that card. Phoenix Cheek, I can't believe how good this little card is. I really can't. One thing you need to remember is it doesn't block. So also playing with this deck, you want to just attack every time. If you're not attacking, you've lost the game with this deck. I will say that. Now, you know, circumstances, you might have you can block there at the end and maybe get you a lightning strike or something to finish the game. I mean, it just happens. But you can't block with this guy anyway, so you might as well just attack. Play with fire. This card's fantastic. You can kill the creature, you know, take them down, or, you know, face your opponent with it and get the Scurry 1, which you can, you know, kind of see what's coming up next. Always good to hold it. Like, if you have this and you have no cards to play on the first draw, it's good to hold on to this and kill that creature card, or just face it that time. Bloodthirsty Adversary. This card is actually OP, especially in this deck. I cannot tell you how many times this card has just won me the game. It's kind of unbelievable. I honestly should have 4 in there, but I like playing kind of with 3 because you don't really need that much play with her. And I wanted to fit another, you know, kind of elite creature in here. Bloodthirsty. It's best to play when you have 5 mana, by far. If you can hold on to her until you have 5 mana, and you've already casted Lightning Strike or just anything. Because you can cast this, get a 3/3, plus you can cast one of these again. And if you have your Monastery Swiftspear out, it's just going crazy. So you can play Reckless Impulse and get your exiled cards and be able to play them next turn too. It's an incredible combo. Feldon, Ronom, Excavator. This card is great as well. And if you see this deck, it kind of plays with playing the exiled cards. So you want to play out of your exiled cards as much as you can. And I'll say a little something about playing with your exiled cards. Well, anyway, we'll go back to Feldon. I like giving Feldon the Kumano faces if I can. Because whenever you do damage to Feldon, he exiles that many cards. So if he's a 3/3, he's going to automatically take 3 damage, and you're going to have 3 exiled cards you're going to be able to pick from, which is fantastic. Lightning Strike speaks for itself. Use this, and this card's great. I wish it was a 1 drop, but that'd be kind of OP, I guess. Obliterating Bolt, like I said, this card's used. Hold this card to kill the big creatures. Like, it does nothing else but do that to Planeswalker or creature. Like, and it exiles it. So that's great. As well as for those cards that want to come back, exile them, they're gone for good. They don't get to play out of the graveyard. Reckless Impulse. This card's key to this deck, I think. This card makes your deck so much better. And I want to also say, for you people that play mana, the first thing you do not do this with this card. Do not do it. You'll be wasting. You won't be min-maxing this deck. If you play mana, then play this card. Because most of the time you're going to hit another mana, which you might need. This card's great. It really gets your deck going. I will say that. Like, you want to play this as soon as you can. Like, if you're running out of mana, play this. You're probably going to hit a mana or two. Just don't. If you're playing mana, don't play that card this yet. Don't do it. Save it for. Play this, then you're probably going to hit a Mishra's or a land. At least one of your cards is probably going to be a land. That's what I'm saying. So you can play it. The next turn you can play your other card. Or you might be able to just play both at that time because you'll have more mana. Use that, pump up your Swiftspear. It's pretty simple. Squee, just attack with him and block with him. He's kind of just there to die. he don't do much out, just kind of gets the other guy's attention. Chandra, of course, this card's, if you get the -7, you basically win the game with this card. Because it's just stupid. Like, it does so much damage. I mean, then if you got problems casting, you want to always face the person or Planeswalker. And of course, you got the Exile type card and be able to play it. So, you might get lucky and need a Lightning Strike. It's a good play. And I put one of the Jaras in here, the Jaya. This card is great too. It does everything. I don't know. There's not a bad thing about this card. Like, look at it. Create a 1/1 monk. Every turn, you can -1, exile your cards and play them. Just like the rest of the deck. Choose target creature an opponent controls. Do damage to that creature whenever you attack. That's great. I've actually not done the -8 on this, so I'm assuming it's good. You get an emblem with whenever you cast a red instant or sorcery, copy it twice. So, get that Lightning Strike. Do that -8, copy it twice. That's pretty OP. But I've never got to play it. Now, I've got to play the Chandra's -7. You just win the game, basically. So another thing is this Mishra's Foundry. You got your mountains here. Then we'll talk about Sokenzan. Mishra's Foundry. This is almost key too, and you do want to min-max with Mishra's. You want to min-max every turn you can. Like, if you can do damage with Mishra's, do damage. Also remember that you can pump it up if you have 5 mana. You need to remember that. That's 4 damage right there from Mishra's. Now, I know that this deck chips away. It don't have big creatures. It chips away every round. So the longer you're in this game, the bigger chance you have to lose. I will say that. You need to end this game quick as you can. That's what this deck's made for, is just cranking out games. But Mishra's Foundry, it kind of speaks for itself. It's a great card. Great land. And I put a Sokenzan in here. I only got one because I like the little extra play in my deck. And you never know when those little 1/1 creatures, discard and get 2 creatures all at once for a block or just extra damage that come in handy for the channel. But that's kind of how you play this deck. You can, of course, you can see me play it. I think I played some with it on the channel here. I don't know, but this is the deck that I went 15-2 with. Let's see if I can bring up Untapped here. And I made this deck because I was having so many problems winning with my other decks. Like, I just could not get past Chandra but Sheoldred, and this deck got me a 1/1 win. I actually didn't face many Sheoldreds. But I tell you blue is hard to beat with this deck. But as you see here, I did climb to Mythic. It was definitely a climb. Put a lot of games into it since the December release. But I hope that helps somebody out there get to Mythic. It's more of a grind and learning what everybody's playing. A lot of people. Well, I even had straight up red mono matches and lost 1, so that's not too bad. That's not too bad. The other loss come from a mono black, because of course, and I actually lost to a red, black, and green deck. I don't remember what that was right off the top of my head. I wish I would have recorded it, but it was late at night. I was just wanting to get some games in. But guys, be sure to follow me over on Twitter at LesMango. Check out my podcast, website, and all the other stuff. See you guys on Magic.